Hey there, are you sick of working hard and having the government take too much in taxes from you? I'm the same way. My name's Steve Larsen and I'm with Produce Freedom, and I help people create financial peace so they can live in abundance and live their passion and purpose. Now, in this video series, we've talked about taxes. We've talked a lot about a lot of different things. The imminent threat of taxes increasing because we put so much money and created so much money in the system, and there's only really one direction for taxes to go. We talked about, hey, is pre-tax or post-tax better? And the answer is we don't know, because we have to plan for both. We have to diversify so that we're smaller. We tend to diversify in our investments, right, and get different asset classes, but a lot of times we forget to diversify in taxes, and taxes are a way bigger expense than the change in the asset classes. Now, we also talked about, in addition to income taxes, we talked about the heavy laden hand of estate taxes and how much the government takes after we pass if we don't do proper planning. So, and we can do some of that. So today I want to talk a little bit more about, okay, what are some of the things that we can do? All right. This is part of our continuous cash flow method. Taxes are a big part of this because they play a huge part in your wealth creation as well as your wealth distribution. Now, how do we reduce taxes? All right. Now, this is working with you and your CPA. If you're an employee, maybe there's some ways that you can have some bonuses or something else directed to, an entity that you create where you have business structure and you can start writing off some expenses to that. When you're an employee, it's probably the hardest thing to do is when you're just a straight W-2 employee. If you're a business owner, you know that you have a lot more options because you can depreciate assets. You can pay your expenses. Sometimes you can prepay expenses for the next year. And then there's other structures that we can add to reduce these. Now, when you get into the upper echelons of wealth building, you can create different trusts that are taxed at different rates, or there's different entities that you can create to reduce tax that are similar, acting as a 401k, but they create like an insurable purpose for a business. There are thousands of ways to reduce tax, especially as a business owner. I always talk to my clients, I say, you are in the business of you. Whether you're working for someone else or you're in your own business, you want to create your own business type structure, because that allows you to start figuring out ways that you can depreciate assets and save tax. You can write off some legitimate business expenses. Maybe you can take advantage and some of the lower tax rates of your children and provide them with legitimate work where they're working for you, and transfer some of the income that would normally be in your income tax bracket to theirs because they're earning it, and then lowering it and have it saved for college or missions or whatever else. But the first step is we got to free up that cash flow and try to reduce the tax. Then we got to take some planning. We got to diversify our planning and say, okay, how do we take some of this and put it into pre-tax vehicles, post-tax vehicles, maybe even non-qualified vehicles, just other assets outside of a government-sponsored plan, so that it creates the most efficient flow and truly diversify how you approach building wealth and distributing wealth, because we want to be efficient on both sides. We don't want to just save tax now and pay a bunch of tax later. We want to create that balance, especially when we don't know what the government is going to do and what policies they're going to change. So this is all part of our continuous cash flow method. We've talked a lot about tax. Tax is a very complicated animal. And so we will go more in depth with you on these things. But really, we want to look at vehicles that will help you create more of a tax advantage cash flow in retirement. If we can begin with the end in mind and start using some of those products and strategies, then your life and financial peace as you get closer to retirement and through retirement, you will be alleviated. So if you're interested in doing that, go ahead and click the link below and join us. We'd love to visit with you, me or one of my team members, and we will talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.